So first thing we need to do is make sure we know what the quadratic formula is. So x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. And we can only get our a, b, and c from the standard form of a quadratic. So ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. The equal 0 is super important because we have to have everything on one side of the equation. And I always try to make it the side where the x squared is positive. So I'm going to, here we go, subtract x from both sides to get this equal to 0. And I have 2x squared minus 3x minus 20 equals 0. And then now I can find a equals 2, b equals negative 3, and c equals negative 20. So I'm just going to take those values and plug them right into the quadratic formula equation. So x equals negative 3, because it's always going to be the opposite of the v value, plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 20, all over 2 times 2. And when we simplify, I think the easiest way to simplify is if you're using Desmos to plug in this part underneath the radical. Oops, not sure why that went over everything. But to plug in that part underneath the radical into Desmos and see what it gives you. So we have x equals 3 plus or minus square root. And then we're going to plug into Desmos, go ahead and see what it gives us. So 4 times 2 times 20, 160 plus 9, we get 169. And then we're going to take the square root of 169. And that's 3 plus or minus 13 over 4. Because of that plus or minus sign, we have to split this into two different answers. Okay, and we have one answer that's going to be the positive version. So 3 plus 13 over 4. And 3 minus 13 over 4. So we get 16 over 4 equals 4 as one of our answers. And negative 10 over 4, which we just want to simplify as much as possible. So we know 2 goes into both of those. So that would be negative 5 over 2. So that's what it looks like when we get a nice number that we can easily take the square root of underneath the radical. So here we have another one. Again, we need to get it in standard form first. So here, since I have two terms on the left side, I'm just going to move both of those over to the right side by doing the opposite operation. So I need to subtract 4 from both sides. So first we have 9x squared minus 4 equals not 0, but equals 7x. I didn't combine the 4 with the 9x squared because those are not like terms. Remember, we can't combine non-like terms. And then same here, I'm going to subtract 7x from both sides. I get 9x squared minus 7x minus 4. Again, because of those like terms. And I'm going to go ahead and list my a is 9, b is negative 7, c is negative 4. And then we'll plug it into our equation. So x equals negative 7 plus or minus square root of negative 7 squared minus 4 times 9 times negative 4 all over 2 times 9. Again, we get 7 out front. We know 2 times 9 is going to be 18 in the denominator. And then we're going to plug in that part underneath the radical, just type it into Desmos. When you're squaring the negative 7, make sure that you put parentheses around the negative 7 in Desmos, because if not, then you might not get the right thing. So we should get square root of 193. And if we try to take the square root of 193, it's going to give us a pretty long decimal. So in this case, I just want you to write your answer, just split it up into two situations. One that's x equals 7 plus or minus square root of 193. Oops. Not plus or minus. We just split it into the plus and then the minus situation. So this is 7 plus square root 193 over 18. And x equals 7 minus square root of 193 over 18. So those are going to be our two answers. And that's a quick